Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So, we're gonna do another music tier list. I've been listening to THERION for about 15 years, maybe longer than that. Could be more, could be less, but I've been listening to him a very long time, and I think I have enough know-how to rank. I'm gonna be ranking a lot of my favorite bands in the coming days, just because I can. Even if it doesn't get a lot of traction, even if not a lot of people watch it, it's okay. I'm only doing this because I feel like this is enjoyable to me. So, that being said, hopefully it shows the right screen. Yeah, and let's get this out of the way first. You'll notice that there's a tier specifically for one album, and that's for the beloved AC. I don't know if I can say that word, but you can see it. And the reason for that is because I don't know how to really grade it. I don't know where to put that on the tier list in terms of these other ones. So that being said, it gets its own spot because it's insane. You either like it or you don't like it. But it's literally a 3-hour album. It's insane. They literally did it. The mad people over there, they're crazy. 3-hour opera / metal / whatever else you want to call it. I personally enjoy because I like the softer music nowadays because I'm getting older, so I enjoy the opera metal type thing. I enjoy that, so that's why it's getting that its own little thing, because I don't know where else to put it. I don't know where it fits otherwise. So there's no other album that they have that's like this, by the way. That's why it's getting its own thing. So I did my homework this time. Sorry for that. Not really homework, but I wrote down a few songs on each of the albums that I will recommend to you guys. Unlike the last video, I only recommended maybe like 1 or 2 songs or something. I actually wrote down everything that I'm gonna recommend you guys so this time around. So let's get into it. Alright, so Of Darkness is gonna go in the meh tier because it's not really their earliest albums, their first 2 albums, and I guess you could even stretch and say his first 3 albums don't really coincide with what their music sounds like now, which is what I prefer. So, as much of a classic as this album is, and as much as the artwork and everything is, I think it's just meh. I mean, if you're a fan of really dark, like black metal, then Of Darkness will be a favorite of yours probably. And the one that I recommend from Of Darkness is Megalomania. So if you're interested in that, that's one of the songs that I recommend. And if you listen to that and you like all the other ones, or you like that one, then you might like all the other ones. Just keep in mind though that since this album is really old, the sound quality really isn't there. But maybe you like that. Anyways, moving on. Beyond Sanctorum is gonna also go in the meh tier to a greater extent because it's really kind of the same thing. They're starting to finally, in this album, they're going a little bit further into where they will be eventually. But they did add some keyboards into this album a little bit, not too much. It's still mostly dark black metal, whatever you want to call it. And the song that I recommend from this album is Cthulhu. That's the second one's right. So anyways, Ho Drakon Ho Megas. I'll put in the good tier. There is a few good songs in here. Not all of them are memorable. There's a few memorable ones, including I wrote down Power Dance and Eye of the Eclipse. Not Eye of the Eclipse, just Eye of Eclipse. So those 2 songs I definitely recommend if you want to watch that one. It's a little more up there because they're finally going into more keyboards and things, which I much prefer. Zapaka Kilov, which is an album that I really like. I'm going to be putting in S+. Almost every song in the album is worth it, including Beauty in the Black, which I think they still play. I think that's one of the only songs that they play from this album still in live events, because it's like ahead of its time. Because if you go listen to their new stuff and you listen to Beauty in the Black, it's almost identical into their normal sound of the modern THERION. So definitely ahead of its time in that way. Rings of the Hydra and Darkness Eve, very good songs as well. So those are my choices for that album. And next we have THERION, and that is definitely going in Godlike. That's one of their best albums ever, and it's not just I'm not parroting anything. I really enjoy this album. Most times when I'm listening to THERION, I go back to this album more than pretty much any other one. So ones I recommend: Cult of the Shadows, Knights of Eden, In the Desert of Set, and also Grand Finale, which is amazing. But if I could recommend everything, I would just recommend the entire album. I definitely recommend the entire album. So yeah, Woven, definitely Godlike. Even though technically it's not really a THERION album, because it's basically a self-titled with the THERION label, technically. But they do play these songs. So this album is probably their best they've ever done, and I will recommend Rise of Sodom and Gomorrah, definitely a very good song. Clavicle Nox, and also Wine of Aluka. Wine of Aluka. I don't really say these words all that often, so it's kind of hard to pronounce for me. But Woven, definitely a very, very good album. Go listen to that as soon as you're done watching this video. 1,000,000% recommend. The next, Crowning of Atlantis. Wait, is it in here? It's not in here. For some reason they didn't put it in here. Okay, well, Crowning of Atlantis would go in the S tier. Let's just pretend that it's here in the S tier, guys. S+ tier. Very good album. I don't normally enjoy albums that have covers in them, but these covers are actually pretty good. Including Mark of Cain, that's not a cover. Crowning of Atlantis, that's also not a cover. But Crazy Nights is a very good cover of another band's song. Definitely recommend that for Crowning of Atlantis. For Deagle, I'll put in S+ tier. Very, very, very good album for sure. And songs I recommend from that are Enter Vila, Deagle, and Seven Secrets of the Sphinx. So that is an extremely good. I go back to this album a lot as well. Not to all the songs, but the ones I listed for sure, and then more, and then some. So there's that. Then Secret of the Runes, I'm gonna go ahead and put good asterisk, because the album is decent but you gotta listen to every single track in order, because it doesn't really make sense otherwise for the lyrics, I believe. So, but if you just care about listening to a good tune, Muspelheim is definitely the one I would recommend. Lumeria, Godlike tier for sure, 100%. Not even question about it. Just listen. And what I recommend is the entire album. I recommend the entire album. And same thing for Sirius B. I recommend the entire album. Godlike tier. So I recommend the entire album, that's for sure. And Gothic Kabbalah, S+ tier. I recommend the entire album. This is very good. Very, 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 very good. One of my favorite albums ever. Citra Aura, I'll put in the good tier. I re-listened to it for this video because I haven't listened to it in a while. It is good. It is good. You can listen to it for a few times. You won't go back to this album all that often, but it is good. It's good enough. Leviathan, pass. I re-listened to it again today before this video again, and I just don't think it's that good. It would be generous of me to put it in in the meh tier. I think it's just pass. Whatever. At least I'll recommend Nocturnal Light as if you want to listen to that. And then the last two, and I'm gonna put in pass. This one here is just, it's so weird. I don't even understand why they've made it. If you want to listen to that one, I wouldn't even recommend it. And then the other one has like a whole bunch of covers in it, and I don't go back to the album at all. So those ones are going into the past tier. Anyways, guys, that's my tier list, guys. If you know this album, or if you know this band exists, let me know in the comment section down below. This is one of my all-time favorite bands, though. I'll be getting to my all-time 100% favorite band that I don't really talk about or mention. You know, Stradivarius is definitely like 1.5 my favorite. There is an absolute favorite of mine, so stay tuned for the next video. We might go into that. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!